Hello, hello, hello. Brother Anthony, can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Hello. We are live.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Oh, my
Hello,
light.
Mr. Oji. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Can you
I
hear
can't hear you though.
me? Your phone again.
We're back to the same issue. Okay, I'm going to leave and come back in. Let me
Yeah,
use
yeah.
my other phone. I think that's probably the best option.
Okay, okay. I need this light. Oh, light is really. This is really dark here.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Anthony, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
That's good. I'm trying to walk around my light. My face is so dark
I
here.
can see you. I think, yeah, maybe the lights in a little bit more, but I can definitely see
Yeah,
you.
the lighting is yeah. Oh my, it's not
No, it's fine. I think we can proceed. They can still see you.
okay. It's just that I can't see myself. It's so dark. Yeah, it's so dark. So dark, you know. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's go on.
All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. This is going to be another great session. I think what we're doing lately is just more and more spending more time to dive into the same topics within a whole week so that we can bring more understanding. But just before we start, I just want to introduce you to who we are. We're Cedar Pro. We train organizations, groups, and individuals like yourself to acquire the right skill sets, the experiences, and the insights necessary to actually be able to be employable, to be successful, and more importantly, to also be relevant in your domain, your career. We pride ourselves of saying that we are not theorists, we are practitioners, and so what we do is to bring you the practical insights that ultimately is geared towards helping you to be confident when you interview for work and when you deliver for the work. So um, we're back again with another topic, and today our topic is understanding the difference between a product owner and a business analyst. All right. So did you want me to crack on from here?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right, cool. So I think if you joined us yesterday on Clubhouse, we talked a lot about the difference between the two, but today we want to further in a little bit more and hone in on the software aspect of things. Because when we talk about product owner and business analyst, although business analyst is a general, it's a role that you can find in pretty much any organization. Oh yeah, much better, much better.
Yeah.
Um, the core essence of product owner and business analyst is within the Scrum environment. That's
Yes.
pretty much where we are. It's about software development. It's about creating applications and softwares that actually solve some type of problem. So you got to realize that when we say that, you know, who is a product owner, for example, a product owner in many organizations, the product owner is almost like they're doubling us as a product manager. And what we mean by that is they are responsible for making decisions about the product. Okay. They deal with the clients, the stakeholders that they deal with are predominantly the client and then all the other various stakeholders. But once they can get the vision from the client, they now have the responsibility of making decisions about the product.
Yeah.
They also deal with the strategic element of the product. So, for example, okay, we now know the vision. What is going to be the roadmap? Which features are we going to release in this month, in this quarter, in this week? They will now produce that strategic roadmap that ultimately becomes a guide for the entire Scrum team, for the Scrum masters, for the business analysts, whoever, to now take on the responsibility of breaking them into smaller tasks and features and stuff to be built. And then they also have the responsibility of communicating the roadmap. So, in a nutshell, as a CEO of the product, what they do is firstly, they understand the vision and make decisions about the product. Number two, they create a strategic roadmap where we are going. We know the vision. How do we get there? What do we need to focus on at specific times? And then, more importantly, they communicate and guide the team in actually ensuring that everything that they are doing is synchronized towards achieving that overall goal and delivering the roadmap. Now, you will find that, in some cases, there are cross-functional teams, and you'll find that product owners will be dealing with other product owners to actually determine which features do we focus on. Which features do we focus on this particular month? Which features do we focus on this quarter? What are the key priorities? And you have that sort of interplay between the different product owners. But when it comes to a business analyst, so whilst one is more of a strategic visionary leader, communicating the direction, etc., the business analyst now takes that roadmap, takes that vision, takes that communication that has come to them, and then now takes the features and breaks it down into what you would call a user story or user stories. They go a bit deeper. They need to break down things from an epic level or feature level and create them into user stories with appropriate level of detail. So things like, acceptance criteria, a little bit of research on whether it comes to UI, UX, dealing with the subject matter experts, dealing with the software architects. So the business analyst eventually has that role of actually taking these high level epics, high level features, and breaking it into smaller tasks. And then they will now put together all the various modeling tools like flow charts, swim lane flow charts, database diagrams, all those things to support the development team so that they have clarity on what is expected of them. And so the business analyst is like the second leg to the product owner. That's why most of the time you find that the product owner is a proxy. Sorry, the business analyst becomes a proxy product owner. And what I mean by that is they eventually end up sometimes doing both work or representing the product owner. Because to be fair, once you can start determining what needs to be done on an everyday basis, you kind of even have an idea of the roadmap and the vision, and you can deal with clients. Yeah, so that becomes the clarity there. Now, one thing that is important for you to know is that can somebody move from product owner to become a business analyst? Well, I mean, if you have that experience and training, why not? Can you become a product? The natural transition is that you start out as a business analyst and then you move your way to product owner at a strategic level. But the reality is, like we've just clearly explained here, there are key skills that are different. One is more strategic, the other is more sort of delivery, executing, putting together the contents and all stuff for the team. Can you have an organization where the business analyst is actually functioning as a product owner and a business analyst at the same time? Yes, the reality is they will not be effective in both roles, right? You need a product owner who makes decisions about the product, and you need a business analyst who now takes those decisions and breaks them into work items, which we call user stories that can now be taken on board from by the team. Now, let me just quickly sort of post it here that our next class is officially going to be starting. We'll be releasing the dates for our next class tomorrow. So check our page, check our pages. You're going to see our next class for training. We've just started a few days ago, the last class that we started, and we're going to be releasing our dates. Now, a lot of these, we have specific courses for product owners, specific training programs for business analysts, and it's all geared towards equipping you. And if, in fact, even in our programs, particularly with the product owner and business analyst programs, we currently have a 50% discount going on. So guys, take advantage of it. One thing I now want to touch on is, how does one become a business analyst, or how does one become a product owner? I think that's very, very important. Well, firstly, and Mr. Oji has said this most of the times in the training, that the reality is that you can't just become a product owner because you want to become a product owner.
No.
You can't just become a business analyst because you want to become a business analyst. You have to have certain interest, personal interest and inclination that helps you, to go towards that. If you don't have it, it's going to be very difficult for you to be a business analyst. Business analysts are thought people. They like to sit down, gather requirements, analyze requirements, model requirements, communicate requirements. There are people that like to be excluded into their own cocoon and do the things that they want to do. Product owner, on the other hand, is just out there, having visions, communicating, clarifying things. They are subject matter experts to a certain degree. They know, for example, if your product owner is working in the finance and banking industry, they know the industry a lot more. They have clarity of what is expected. So when they are engaging the different team members and bringing out clarifications, they know exactly what is expected of them. But you have to have some type of inclination. You must have it. That's where it all starts. Then the next thing is, you need somebody to train you. You need somebody to train you, equip you with the theoretical aspect and also the practical aspects. Because no matter how efficient you are in terms of a business analyst, I had a conversation with a lady today who's looking to join our next class. In fact, her husband is on this class, and she said, I'm going to apply for work. And I asked her one or two questions, and she couldn't answer. I said, you're not ready. She said, the money is the problem. I said, if the money is the problem, they're not ready to get a job either. But the point of the matter is, she's a business analyst who has been doing all kinds of things all over the place and is not centralized towards helping her know precisely what a business analyst does. Yeah. So here comes in the training, a training that is very centralized, that is very direct towards enabling you to know what it is that a business analyst does, what is their role, what's their responsibilities, how does it connect with product owners, product managers, all that stuff all together. So product managers, business analysts and project managers and product owners, you need that training. And this is where Cedar Pro comes in. Our efforts and all our communication is really geared towards helping you know that you need at least 6 to 8 weeks of training. And we do it as 6 weeks. And then we give you that practical hands-on experience that you need in order to actually be confident. There are students on our practical hands-on experiences that are actually in a position where they are saying, I'm beginning to get a little bit more confident in what I'm doing, because they are working themselves through that whole process. They are working themselves through that process, and there's a learning curve going on, building that, giving them that confidence that they can actually do that. They're not scared about anything. So you need that. And like I said, our training programs, our next session will officially be launched tomorrow. We will be launching that tomorrow. Okay, we will be launching that tomorrow, and we'll be communicating that to you tomorrow. All right. Now, one thing I also want to now discuss is actually what is the key fundamental roles, specific roles that itemize them now for you, product owner. So firstly, a product owner defines the vision.
That's it.
We define the vision of the product. The product owner has the overall roadmap, a high-level view of where the complete product will be in the next 5, 10, 20 years. So they define the vision. They say in the next 10 years, Apple iPhone is going to be XY. We're going to release. Apple doesn't know how many releases they will have now in the next 15 years. No. There's a product owner in there who has clearly defined iPhone 17, iPhone 20, iPhone 35, and they know precisely what features must be out every single month, sorry, every single year. And they know that clearly defined. That person has sat down and is always doing research, always investigating the market, competitors, all that stuff to gather information on clearly defined that roadmap so that they know which features must be released at every time.
That's
So
it.
product owner defines the vision, defines the strategic roadmap. Then, secondly, a product owner manages the backlog. Now, if you don't know what a backlog is, we've already explained. Backlog is simply put work items. It's just a combination of user stories that have now been probably prioritized or not prioritized. Now, let me explain what a user story is. In the terms of software development, we have what we call features. And features are what a application or a software must have in order to be able to be used by someone. So, let me give you an example. A feature on the YouTube feed, the feature on the YouTube platform is subscribe. It's a feature, right? That feature, for them to have built it here, had to create what you call non-technical requirements. Non-technical requirement here is the user story. So say things like, as a user, I want to be able to subscribe to see that page so that I can follow what they are doing.
Yeah.
Now, for that to happen, they create that user story that I've just explained to you, and they now break it down into task and subtask so that the software developers can now take it onto them. It will be estimated, it will be backlog groomed, it will be refined, it will be communication will go here and there. But the most important thing is that backlog, and these are lists of things that needs to be achieved, different aspects of the features that needs to be built. That whole thing must be managed by the product owner. So the product owner's most essential responsibility is managing the product backlog in order to maximize value at the end of the product. Now, this is where I need to ensure I communicate something. You see, it's one thing to have the vision and the roadmap. It's another thing to ensure that what is being built is actually valuable to the client. So
That's it.
hear product owner all the time. You're always going to hear product owner value, because they are in the business of ensuring that we are delivering value to the client. The features that we decided to build, is it valuable to the client? Is it valuable to the stakeholders? Value is very critical. They have to ensure that what they are doing is valuable. So you find that when a product owner is sitting down determining, okay, which things should we work on this particular sprint or this week or this week or 1 month, they are always asking themselves, what is the most valuable piece of work that we can actually produce that will actually be very useful to the client and also to the actual users. So a product owner spends time to prioritize the backlog, to groom the backlog, to ask to refine the backlog, to ensure that all the various priorities are considered when determining which one needs to be released this week, third, fourth week, and all that. Then a product owner next prioritizes the needs. You see, it's one thing to prioritize the backlog. It's another thing to actually regularly maintain it so that you keep pace with the product owners. Always review the backlog before each iteration planning meeting to ensure prioritization are correct, and then feedback from the last iteration has been incorporated. So you are prioritizing the backlog, but we need to also consider the needs. The other stakeholders, that their needs must be considered. We need to ensure we understand those things. The product owner is constantly reviewing the backlog. Okay, this one we are prioritizing, does it consider all the various needs of the various stakeholders? We might not be able to satisfy everybody, but at least we can have a communication with everyone to understand what it is that we can pull out today. So the product owner is free to reprioritize work all the time. They are constantly checking, constantly having conversations with different people. That's why we tell people that if you want to be a product owner, you have to be a people person. And at the same time, it's a person that actually is thinking about on an ongoing basis.
Very well. Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The project owner, just as you said, that is business oriented.
Very business oriented.
business oriented. Why
Yes.
the why the business
Business
analyst is
analyst.
focused on the project.
Yes.
Just have that
Yes.
in your mind. Product
Yes.
owner is business oriented. They are going out,
Yes.
scouting for the business, searching for the
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
bringing the stakeholders. They are the
Yes.
bridge between the stakeholders and the developers. That's who the
Yes.
product owner is. So when they
Yes.
go out there, they get all these contracts, bring them in, but
Hmm.
they can't develop it themselves. They are not going to manage the project. The business
Yes.
analyst will manage the project to
Hmm.
deliver. Then, by the time the business analyst delivers the whole project, gives it to the product and product owner, who takes it to the stakeholder.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
just put that in your mind. That's just like the whole thing. They're business
Exactly.
oriented. One is project focused.
Yes, one is business and one is project. Exactly.
That's it.
They are
Yeah,
very, very, very well said. One is business oriented, ensuring that the business objectives are achieved, the client is
yeah,
satisfied. And then the
yeah.
other one is ensuring that the actual project itself is being delivered with all the various tasks that are defined properly.
That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Another thing that a product owner does is that they oversee the development stages. So you find that
That's it.
product owners attend meetings like backlog grooming meetings, sprint planning meetings, product review meetings, sprint
Mhm.
review. So they are constantly in every single meetings to ensure that the people are doing the right things all the time. During the planning stages, the product owner will basically work with all the various stakeholders to identify and organize every single step that is required for the next iteration, you know. And then also the product owner spends time anticipating client needs. What could they be looking for in the next iteration, in the next
Mhm.
sprint, in the next feature, in the next things? And they are constantly doing market research. That's why you
That's it.
find that most product owners are product managers because,
Mhm.
quite frankly, you are leading the direction of the product.
That's it.
Yeah, you're leading the direction of the product. Now, let me quickly, briefly now talk to you about business analysts, what they focus on in detail here. Business analysts, they take information from or direction from the product owner, and the direction will come in the form of problems or
Mhm.
questions or things that needs to be solved. And then the first thing that a business analyst will do will be to research and elicit requirements. Now,
Yeah.
if you've been in our business analyst class, you know that we are dealing here with gathering information, gathering data. And they can do this through interviews, they can do this through surveys, they can do this through group assessments, group meetings, they can do this through one-on-one
Yeah.
interviews. The
Yeah.
point is they are trying to gather information. There's a problem.
Mhm.
There are features that needs to be broken down. We need to create user stories. We need to have understanding. Okay,
That's it.
so they will gather all these requirements of the different aspects of the features. They will research other companies, other platforms, other
Yeah.
stakeholders, and then they start gathering that information. The business analyst brings good product systems and understanding that may advise the product owner. But one
That's
thing
it.
I must say is their gathering requirement is not an independent activity from the product owner.
Mm-mm.
It is always in connection with the product owner. They're asking
Yeah.
questions with the product owner because, again, the product owner is leading the direction and the vision. So you need to know that whatever you are communicating as a user story is actually helping them achieve that value that the product owner is setting out to achieve. So a product owner and business analyst will work together on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
another thing is that a product owner, business analyst documents requirements. Documents requirements. And here, I want to add the word analysis. In fact, we'll talk about that in a second. But they document it. You've got to get to the place where you gather requirements and then you now start documenting it. Once the business analyst, gathers requirements, the next thing is to ensure that you document it
Mhm.
formally, informally, depending on the needs of the project. For example, the BA may be tasked with creating the requirements in the form of user stories with appropriate acceptance criteria. The
Mhm.
product owner has already created the user stories with acceptance criteria. Then the business analyst is responsible for reviewing them and make
Yeah.
sure that every business rule is covered and the
Mhm.
acceptance criteria meets the user story functionality. So you find that sometimes you find in organization the product owner has already created their user stories and acceptance criteria. What does the business analyst does? Go over it, check it, make sure that every single box is ticked. Every
Yeah.
single box is ticked. You
Mhm.
are documenting requirements. Then you have requirement analysis and also modeling, right? So
Mhm.
a product owner will now be looking at, okay, this particular thing that you communicated, what is exactly the understanding? They'll be using different techniques to actually understand what exactly does a product owner want to communicate here. What am I trying to say? Then they will now start creating all the flow charts. They will start creating all the various modeling tools and techniques and whatever it is that is necessary to aid the development team to know precisely what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Once that is done, the product owner communicates. You'll find that in most sprint planning meetings, the product owner and the business analyst particularly, provide everyday requirement details and
Mm-hmm.
supports also the team. They do that as sprint planning, and also they do that during the sprint,
Yeah.
because a scrum master may not be able to remove all impediments, okay, or blockades or whatever it is. A business analyst can also take that leading role to actually ensure that anything that needs to be removed, if we need to communicate with the product owner, the business analyst is saying, hey, okay, let us do this, let us do that, let us do that. In some cases, the product owner is not available. The business analyst can step in as the lead proxy product manager and then basically help with information and stuff. So the
Yeah.
business analyst guides the team, particularly during the delivery stages and also pre-delivery stages.
Yeah.
Then the other thing that the product owner does is solution assessment and validation. So the product owner is always asking questions like, okay, this way that we are doing it, is it the best option? Do we have the right solutions on table? Are we looking at things correctly? Do we have to investigate a little bit further? You're always working with the stakeholders to review the software as it is being developed. By doing walkthroughs, play acting, and other testing activities, a business analyst, you can help in ensuring that the project meets all the specified needs and requirements. So
Brilliant.
as you can see, like Mr. Ogi said, one is looking at the business and the strategy and the vision. The other
Yeah.
is looking at ensuring that the vision that has been communicated, it is executed, it is put together in a way that
Yeah.
allows people to be able to action them. So creating the user stories, looking at how best we can solve things, looking at how we can communicate these things, requirements, particularly, that's the major word that a business analyst focuses
Right.
on.
And you see, the thing about the product owner is that because they are business oriented, get the
Mm.
contract, they bring the product in, they bring the
Yes.
business in. Um, oh, what happened there? Are we on?
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
so
well,
because they bring the business in, the 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 business analyst is project focused, so he will make sure that they deliver. But listen carefully, because the thing is that the business analyst is not the one who brought the product in or who brought the business in. It is the product owner. So the product owner will work with the business analyst to make sure that the requirement is met. And also, when
exactly.
the business analyst finishes with the product, he delivers it to the product owner, who will check again to make sure
Exactly.
that all the scope and the requirement that the stakeholder wants in regards to the product is delivered on time. Sometimes when a project comes in or when something comes in, the product owner can sometimes come in and then he's sitting with the business analyst and they'll have to go through meetings like, do we go
Absolutely.
ahead? Yeah, do we go ahead or do we not go ahead? Because it's not
Yes.
just all the product that comes in that they put in.
They need
Remember
to
what we
focus on.
had,
Mm.
they are carrying out a business, a cost benefit analysis, viability of the business, the feasibility studies, and everything will be done. Strategic research and strategic moves will be done. Research will be carried out just to make sure that what is expected of them is delivered on time. So that's
Yes.
just the main thing. So one is business oriented, the other one is project focused, just to make sure
Yes.
that it's delivered on time. But if you see the way they play and they act, they're all in the same company. The main thing is customer satisfaction. That's the
Yes.
main thing,
Yes.
that they are working at. So you'll be surprised that at one point in your life or at one point in your career, you would have been a product owner without really knowing. You will not
Yes.
be
Yes.
a product manager without really knowing. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. So you need to keep that in your mind. That's why when you come in to see that pro, most of the things that we do, especially when you're doing the Scrum class, standalone Scrum class, to get
Yes.
trained as a Scrum master, there's so much that you learn from there, so much that will teach you, so much that you get involved in. that will benefit you even in the road. So I will tell anybody listening to us now, take advantage of the 50% discount and quickly jump on the board so that so that you can in 3 months time you look at yourself and say, man, I'm so glad I took this step. In 4 months time, look at yourself and just imagine where you will be and how you would have gone far based on making this move. So I will encourage you to take that bold step now and don't wait. That guy, I always quote him, the poet from Ghana, Ayikwe Ama. He said something: time and tide waits for no man. So time will not wait, tide will not wait. So take advantage of it. Mr. Anthony, over to you.
That's it. Majority, thank you very much. We come to the end of the class.
Yeah.
The discussion. We will be live tomorrow on
Club.
Clubhouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
focusing on how to be employed as a product owner and
Yeah.
a business analyst. But yeah, tomorrow look out for our next class announcement. We'll be announcing where our next class will be. And we'll be also posting on all the various other classes that are possible with the different students. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.